Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Building Championship Mindsets, the podcast. This is your host, Dr. Amber Selking, where we are in season 12, entitled A Decade of Greatness. We are celebrating the last 10 years of Selking Performance Group being an organization in the world, and indeed living out our mission of helping business teams and sports teams understand and leverage the power of mindset and leadership to drive performance excellence. Today in our episode, we're going to be talking about the importance of partners and partnerships in actually fulfilling your mission in the world. Again, in this season, we're really looking at what are 10 drivers that we believe are led to and continue to contribute to the success of our organization, that have helped us be who we are to the world today, and also continue to grow into who we will be in service of the world. And so I don't know if you've noticed, because I'm not really sure what the video angle is, but I'm wearing a glove. And so before we get too much further in this episode today, if you're just listening to it and you're not watching the video, I am wearing a softball glove. And it's actually the first glove that I've ever owned. Softball was never one of my sports. I always threw the ball with my grandpa and my brother, but they were all old baseball gloves that we found in our garage, or we're out in the barn. And so I'm holding and wearing this glove right now today because it's something really special to me. And it's special to me because of one of the partners in my life, and that's the Notre Dame softball team. So one of our incredible clients and partners that we've worked with is Notre Dame softball, and head coach Deanna Gumpf, who's just phenomenal. Her staff is amazing. They've been at Notre Dame for several years, and the team actually gifted me this glove a couple weeks ago. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to shout my girls out. Notre Dame softball girls, what's up? Staff, what is going on? Thank you for who you are, for your passion of building champions, which is their mission in their organization, and the pillars of success that really help us build champions in these young women, and then the habits of excellence that underline that. You know, a couple episodes ago, we talked about systems and processes that lead to success. And so for them, again, that mission of building champions with the pillars, the 4 pillars that go into that, underlined by habits of excellence, is really the system that we've built. And so they gifted me this glove with a cool interlocking ND on it that says WIN right beside it, which, if you followed this podcast, you know stands for what's important now. And then on one of the fingers of the glove, I don't know if that's the right terminology, they are teaching me a lot about the game of softball, but it says championship mindsets. And so I'm just so grateful for this blue and green glove with the embroidery on it as a reminder of our partnership together. And so I think that leads us well into talking about the importance of partners in building your team and building your organization and building who you want to be to this world, whether it's through an actual company that you have, whether it's through the team that you're a part of, or whether you're an individual that's continuing to grow and to flourish and to try to be a force for good in this world. What I think is important for us to understand about partners is it's all about collaboration. And our partners can be both internal and external. So what do I mean by that? If you are inside of a team or an organization, you have to constantly think about, who are the people that I need to partner with to help us take next steps in our objectives. And again, in sports teams, objectives look different than business objectives. And maybe, again, you're operating within your family, right? What are your family objectives? So what are the partners inside of your team or your group that you really need to build to focus on so that you can accomplish those goals? At the end of the day, great partnerships come down to relationships. How do you operate with that other person, with those individuals? How do they tick? How do you tick? What strengths do they bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? And can you set your ego down enough to allow each other to contribute to the organization? Over the last 4.5 years, I've served as the Vice President of Leadership and Culture at Lippert, which is a global publicly traded manufacturing company. And I'm still a part of that team in an advisory role in leadership and culture. And so we just went through strategic planning as an executive team. And I was talking with one of our new executives and sharing with him one of the biggest things I've learned over my time at Lippert is when I first came, my first year, I remember in our executive meetings, I was given the objective of our engagement survey and strategy. And so, I thought to myself, okay, I need to leave this meeting. I need to build the strategy, figure out, what platforms we're going to use, and then start communicating that across our organizations. I really didn't understand how Lippert operates in terms of how open people are to contribute, to be a part of all of the different objectives and really build a team and build those partnerships. So over the last several years, that what started off as my singular vision of how we bring an engagement survey and strategy to life in an organization has become this powerful partnership with all of our leaders literally around the globe, with our HR partners, with the leadership and development team who helps manage and run that, and with all of our leaders that are encouraging their people, giving their people time and space to not only take the survey, but then craft really meaningful action and action plans on the back end of the survey to do that. And so that importance of internal partnerships is so critical if we want to go further, faster. What's that old quote? It's like, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And that's really the power of partnerships. So that's a look at what partnerships look like internally. But then let's think about, well, what do external partnerships mean and look like, and how can they contribute? I think a lot of times for individual entrepreneurs, you think hey, this is my world, this is my bubble, I need to focus on it. I don't want to partner with my competitors, quote unquote, because they're my competitors. But what I've found over the years and over the last 10 years is that the people that have helped further my organization and Selking Performance Group more than anybody have been, quote unquote, my competitors, who have been so open to sharing ideas, to inviting me onto their podcast, to having me into their virtual summits. Earlier this year, I partnered with Ben Newman, reached out to ask me to be a part of this incredible summit that he put on with amazing leaders from all different industries. John Gordon was a part of it. Eric Thomas was a part of it. So there was all these amazing people that he brought together to serve a greater purpose. And I think that willingness for us to see, again, our competitors as somebody and other organizations that can help iron sharpen iron and make more greatness and go further is a really good mindset to have. Another partner that comes to mind is Davin Salvagno and Purpose Point. His team, they're based in Michigan. Their main mission is to continue to give people a platform to have a positive impact in the world and to help organizations get back to why they started in the first place, their purpose point, if you will, and then operate out of that purpose. And through our partnership or our collaboration with Purpose Point and Lippert, we've been able to put together and take the Purpose Summit to a whole new level. The Purpose Summit is a global leadership summit that we have had at the University of Notre Dame in 2022. We're having it again at Notre Dame in 2023. It's in May. If you want to check it out, just Google the Purpose Summit. We've got incredible apps, incredible speakers, really talking about how do we make business a force for good in the world. And so what we found when Davin found Lippert and met Jason Lippert, our CEO, and was just loved what we did culturally there. And we started talking, and he told us about the Purpose Summit that he had hosted the last couple years. And we shared hey, well, we have a vision on our heart to also create a leadership development summit. What if we just worked together and did this as a collaboration? And so that allowed us to bring two great organizations together and actually go further, faster together. And so again, the next sort of iteration of the Purpose Summit at the University of Notre Dame existed, and we brought together over 500 different C-suite executive leaders from over 200 different companies to have this conversations. That's the power of partners. That's the power of partnership and what collaboration can allow us to do. One of the things that I want to challenge all of us to think about is, where might we be limiting ourselves by not collaborating, particularly with people in our own field? Again, I think that oftentimes we think of our competitors as someone that we don't want to partner with, when in reality, The world needs more of what you are bringing to it than you yourself can offer. And so what we know, what I've learned in counseling and coaching is that the number one driver of success in a coaching or counseling relationship is in fact the relationship. How well do you vibe with, do you get along with your coach or your counselor? That's what makes it work. So I apply that same logic to organizations. Man, you might be working on mindset yourself and working with organizations on mindset or sports teams on mindset. Awesome. The world needs more people that are highly competent doing this. I also think the world needs less people talking about mindset that actually have no idea what mindset is or what sports psychology is or how brain science actually works, when really they're just motivational speakers. But with that being said, there's so many people that need to learn these things. Can we open that up and say, hey, yeah, let's collaborate. Let's share best ideas? Because I can guarantee you some of the organizations that you work best with and align best with and have the biggest impact with are organizations that might not be the right fit for Selking Performance Group. So again, iron sharpens iron. I go back to, what does the word competition really mean? And to compete, it means to strive together, right? Competere is the root word that means to strive together, where you bring your best, I bring my best, and we come together and we get better because our best is being brought to the table. And that's what great partnerships allow to happen in the world. So your championship mindset training, as you can imagine, is twofold. First of all, I want you to think about an existing partnership that you have, internally or externally, and how can you strengthen that partnership? How can you ignite that and take it to a new level? And then secondarily, what is a new partnership that you might be able to activate to help your whole organization, or an initiative or a goal that you have on your team or in your organization, take it to another level? Find those partners, build those relationships, and see what your next level of greatness might look like. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Listen, we released a book earlier this year called Winning the Mental Game, the playbook for building championship mindsets. We just went through a reprint, so thank you to everybody who purchased the first go round. We were totally sold out, but the reprint is back. Shelves are stocked, so go ahead and check that out on Amazon or on our website, www.selkingperformance.com. And then please follow us on all the social media platforms. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Champ Mindsets, on LinkedIn and Facebook at Selking Performance Group, and you can find us on TikTok as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. You've been listening to Building Championship Mindsets, the podcast. This is your host, Dr. Amber Selking, and from the locker room to the boardroom, I just want to challenge you to continue building your championship mindset.